we're going to have a little competition here between girls and guys on what makes an unhealthy, dependent, abusive relationship. Introducing for the ladies,
Katie.
Katie again, our famous one. And then also, the guys?
Zach Denham.
All right, Zach Denham. All right, so here we go. Ladies first. I'm going to step away. Characteristic number 1.
Clinginess.
Clinginess, absolutely. Give me another one.
Jealousy.
Oh, no. I mean, we'll go back and forth.
If there's physical abuse.
All right, they tend to be physically abusive. Okay, what else?
Jealousy.
Big time jealousy. Good.
Verbal abuse.
Okay, you used abuse. We got all kinds of abuses. Physical, emotional. All right, now give me another one.
If there is constant nagging.
Constant nagging. Very good. Go ahead.
Controlling.
Very controlling. Good.
Possessive.
Possessiveness. Is that like controlling?
No.
Okay, we'll give it to you. I get harder as we get to the lightning round. Go ahead.
Unpredictable.
Perfectionists.
Yes. Very good.
Dramatic.
Dramatic. Good.
Murder.
They murder?
Murder's never a good sign.
Yeah, if there's a murder, it's a very unhealthy relationship.
If there's a murder, it is an unhealthy relationship. Hello? Okay, that's an amazing grasp for the obvious, but doesn't count. Give me another one.
Like cheating, infidelity.
Infidelity, yeah. So some cheating going on.
PDA.
Public displays of affection. Okay.
Bad influences.
Okay, what does that mean? How is
they're
it
bad influences on each other?
Oh, very good. Okay, so they're not good. They tend to take each other down and build each other up. Very good.
Untrustworthy.
Untrustworthy.
Codependent.
Ooh. Just a second. Where did you get codependent? Who gave that one to you?
From our amazing health teacher.
Yeah, okay. Whatever. All right. That was very good. Very psychological. Go.
Constant fighting.
Constant fighting.
That's the same thing as nagging.
Actually, that's kind of more like your like your murder. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, give us another one. That's good.
Needy.
They're very needy. Okay.
That's clingy.
That's like clingy. Man, they are tough. You got anything else?
Nope.
Nothing else. What else you got?
Incompatibility.
They tend to be incompatible. All right. Anything else?
I think we had. Based on looks.
Totally based on looks, physical appearance. Very good. Anything else? Just give me the rest of your list. He's afraid to say it. What else?
Fetishes.
Fetishes. Oh, we've had enough here. All right, good enough. All right, thank you. That's it for the guys and the girls. Excellent work. All right. What time are we done?
So confused.
8:24. What time are we done?
42.
8:42. All right, let's fly. So here you go. Those are all good answers. See how many of these are on your list. Lost Without You. Some of you.
I love that song.
You want to sing it?
No.
That'd be good, man. That'd be awesome. All right, Lost Without You. Lost Without You. All right, very good. Number 2. You didn't put this one down. All the other friendships suffer. Guys, you ever had a friend and he gets a girlfriend and then, man, he is just like whipped. The guy can never hang out. I gotta ask Colleen if I can hang out with you guys. Well, we know the answer to that. That's a big I don't think so. All right. Number 3, mad jealousy. I mean, they are just totally in your grill. So, guys, let me just tell you right now, you got one of those kind of girls, and you even think about looking at another woman, you are just dead. They'll grab you, put the cheek, and they're just kind of all over you. All right? Loss of independent decision making. Can't make a decision. I got to check with Mindy. I'm not sure I can. Right? Or vice versa. Excessive PDA. All right? Notice I said excessive. I think there are some appropriate levels of physical contact. The problem is you get into it way too much, way too quick. Distracted. Your parents get a little worried when your grades suffer because you're distracted. I had a 4.0 going into the spring semester of my junior year in high school. And my wife, Cheryl, was a big distraction. and I got my first B in Spanish because mi amor, I could not focus. And my parents weren't real excited about that. They were very kind of strict, grades-oriented people. And it was really interesting. My dad didn't have a chance to go to college, so he wanted to make sure that there was no excuse for me getting into college, and he didn't like this idea that this woman was distracting me. But then once we got married, it was cool. He was all right with it. Constant conflict, right? Constant conflict. We've talked about that. And they don't know how to process conflict either. They fight unfair. Totally enmeshed, all right? When you cannot separate who you are from who you're dating, that's one wacky, not good, not healthy, dependent relationship. Okay. Now, why do they live with that? Why do couples get into that kind of relationship? I'll give you the first one, then you can brainstorm with me on the other ones. First one I would like to suggest is they got a poor self-image. All right? They're really insecure. And I'd ask yourself this: what am I worth? What am I worth? In God's eyes, you are an unbelievable treasure. You're made in the image of God. But so often when you have a poor self-image, you do things to gain acceptance. Someone said it this way: girls give love, or guys give love to get sex. Girls give sex to get love. We're going to talk about that in our next section on intimacy. But what are you worth? And so oftentimes people's self-image is this high. All right? Number 2, past abusive relationships. Past abusive relationships. They've been in a controlling, abusive relationship. It's been manipulative. And here's one. Look at this second statement. The fear of not finding someone else. They'd rather be in an abusive relationship than in no relationship. That's not a healthy place to be. So those are a couple examples or descriptors of an abusive relationship. When you're staying in a relationship out of fear, that's not a good relationship. If you're staying in a relationship because the person is threatening to hurt themselves. You know, I noticed my friend Vince Beresford, I'm looking at your discussion on depression and suicide. Do not stay in a relationship because the other person is threatening to commit suicide. That's when you get help immediately. By the way, there's only going to be 4, not 5 on your sheet there. Number 3, dysfunctional family. All right? When there's a dysfunctional family. Now, all of us, biblically, come from a dysfunctional family. Why is that? I want you to think theologically just for a second. What is dysfunctional about our family as Christians? Because we're all born with what? Sin. A sin nature. Correct. So, let's not blame everything on, oh, I came from a whack job, dysfunctional family. You know what? All of us have issues in our families of origin. And you have to decide whether you're going to be held back because of that, theologically, because we all have a sin nature. But more importantly, some of you come from families that your parents are not still married to each other. You come from a blended family, a divorced family, single parent family. And you're going to have to work a little harder at having models for something that's healthy. Cheryl's grandparents were divorced. Her parents were divorced when she was 3. Her dad left her mom, had an affair, and married the other woman. She had no example of a healthy role model of a dad and a husband staying committed to his wife for, 50 plus years. My parents, like I said, were married for like 56 years before my dad died, and had a really good model of that. Then lastly, immaturity. Some people stay in an unhealthy dependent relationship because they're just not very mature. They haven't grown up and seen that, this is not going to get you where you want to get in life. And I think so often, because of the dysfunctional family or poor self-image, they cling to each other because that's what feels good to them. Because they don't feel good at home. In fact, they spend as little time at home as they can because home is a painful place for them. So, by the way, if you have a friend whose parents are going through a divorce, and maybe you've gone through that divorce, you of all people know how painful that is. And oftentimes, guys in particular, you don't have anybody to talk to. You don't know where to process that, because you don't want to feel like, yeah, I feel like that's stupid. Like, should I say anything to anybody? Because your image of manhood is that you just stuff it, you keep it all in, you don't really deal with it. And unfortunately, if you don't have some mentor in your life, gentlemen, if your parents are going through a divorce, oftentimes you get very twisted views as to what marriage should or shouldn't be because it's based on what you didn't see in your parents. Now, danger sign number 4 is confusing sex with intimacy. Confusing sex with intimacy. Alright? So here's what I want to clarify with you. It's not just doing the dirty deed that's the problem. You go, oh, really? Yeah. It is not just intercourse that causes an issue in an unhealthy relationship. See, what happens is this. When you're fooling around, and let me just illustrate this for you in a second. Let me explain what I'm going to do. It's so obvious when you are messing around with somebody, all right, that it clouds your ability to see clearly what's really going on in the relationship. Let me ask you this. Do you ever know someone who's dating someone and the guy is cheating on the girl and the girl doesn't see it? She can't see it. It's right. Everybody else sees it. Can see that the guy's not being faithful to her, but she doesn't see it. Has anybody ever seen somebody in that kind of a relationship? Anybody? You've seen it? You've seen it? Why can't she see it, but everybody else around her can see it? Is it just because he's really super devious and she's just totally clueless? No. Why can't she see it? That he isn't good for her? Yeah.
Because she doesn't want to see it.
She doesn't want to see it. Why doesn't she want to see it? Well, it goes back to all those reasons why they're in this relationship. It's based, she's insecure, she needs a bad relationship is better than no relationship. And so what happens is, it's right in front of your very eyes, but you don't see it. Let me illustrate it for you. Alright? I'm going to put this paragraph up on here, and I want you to do something very simply. All I want you to do is count the number of F's. Right? Count not those, just in this paragraph right here. Count the number of F's, don't give your answer. Okay? You get to vote once. How many count 3 F's? Raise your hand. Raise them high. Good. How many count? Some of you go, really? 4 F's? Ooh. 5 F's. 6 F's. 7 F's. 8 F's. You see, we're illustrating the point that it's right in front of you, but you can't see it. See, there are obvious things in a relationship that we see all the time, you know? But when you're in a sexual relationship, it blinds you. You don't see what's been right there in front of your very eyes the whole time. Yeah, it's a little trick, right? Your mind saw V's instead of F's. So the bottom line is when you're in a sexualized relationship, you could be involved in stuff and you just don't see all the negative that's going around in that relationship. Now, the bottom line is there's a lot of issues about premarital sex. And I'm not going to, this is all research. You can go and Google this stuff and find this out. Premarital sex tends to break couples up. Most men don't want to marry a woman who's had intercourse with someone else. With communicable diseases and all kinds of STDs, this is a big deal. And it can ruin your life. Number 3, those who've had premarital sex tend to have less happy marriages. Those who have premarital sex are more likely to have their marriage end in divorce, statistically. Persons and couples who had premarital sex are more likely to have extramarital affairs as well. Having premarital sex may fool you into marrying a person who's not right for you. In other words, you're feeling guilty. Here's how Christians think about it. Well, I've had sex with that person, I guess I have to marry him. No. Maybe you should quit having sex with them and then decide whether or not that person is right or wrong for you. Persons and couples with premarital sex experience and achieve sexual satisfaction sooner. Out of all the 9 facts, only 1's positive. So you achieve sexual satisfaction sooner. If you're going to be married the rest of your life to one man or one woman, You got 50 years to practice. I don't care how long it takes to have sexual satisfaction. However, they are less likely to be satisfied overall in their sex life during their marriage. And poor premarital sex habits can be carried out over to spoil sex in marriage. Guys, I want to tell you something. Do not get involved in pornography. Because as you're watching pornography, your wife will never compare to what you've been watching on a DVD. It'll never, ever match up. And then you have this corrupted view of sex. And when you have sex for the first time with your wife, and your mental image is of some porn star on a video you watched since you were 16, you're going to regret every day of your married life that you got involved in pornography. I'm just going to tell you. Ladies, don't settle for second best. Guys stay in sexualized relationships, and I hate to be blunt, because they get it for free. See, the payoff is in marriage. Sex, God designed sex to be something you do in marriage, not while you're casually dating in high school. And the problem is, we have a thing today called friends with benefits, don't we? And they're highly sexualized relationships with zero commitment. So when you get to be in your mid-20s and you're having sex with your boyfriend and he has a hard time committing to you for marriage, ladies, is it any surprise? Why? Why? He's getting the milk for free, so to speak, right? You're giving everything to him now. He hasn't had to wait for anything. Now you say, that's kind of sick and perverse. No, it's reality. Let me tell you something.